Sawubona mbukeli, sasifikile thina nentandokazi yohlelo lakho Yilungelo lakho, it's your right, lapho sinilethela khona izindaba, ulwazi kanye nezixwayiso phela ezithinta nina njengabathengi. Uyazi ke mbukeli, uMangcolosi uMajalu Alisha uNhlanhlo usefikile, uthi nje kunina sanibonani. Namhlanje ke sibheke ukuthi kwenzekani uma phela uphelele umsebenzi ungalindelanga njengoba sibone kwenzeka kulesi sikhathi se-COVID-19. Ngabe ke mbukeli yini amalungelo wakho kanye nomthetho okumele ulandelwe ngaphambi kokuthi phela nidilizwe emsebenzini? You can call us on 011-714-6918, alternatively 714-6919. consumer@sabc.co.za is our email address, and sikhona futhi na ku Facebook. Okwamanje mbukeli asifake lama specs le ndaba yama retrenchments. COVID-19 and the pressure it has imposed on the economy has forced many companies to fold at a rapid and a very alarming rate, and in that process prematurely releasing workers from employment yabo. Now, with some employers taking shortcuts and procedural processes ukuthi baxosha abantu emsebenzini, violating their rights in the process, it has become more and more important for workers to know what payments they are entitled to and what to do if, of course, an employer violates their rights. And today, we focus on the retrenchment process as well as what the HR protocol should be. And to do just that, Mbugeli, we're very pleased to be joined via Skype by Human Resource and Industrial Relations Specialist Ntokazi Mkhize, usisithembelihle Mkhize. Sinaye futhi on the line ubaba uSimon Makhubela, yena-ke ubuya kwekhomishini exazulula zona le inkinga esikhuluma ngazo namhlanje phakathi kwabasebenzi kanye nabaqashi phecelezi iCCMA. Sisithembelihle Ntokazi Makhabazela, thank you so much for joining us. Awusichazele kabanzi wena ukuthi umsebenzi wakho siyeza ukuthi you're a champion kuma labor laws nama practices nama labor practices as well as ama HR protocols. Awusichazele kabanzi ukuthi umsebenzi wakho kahle kahle yini Ntokazi?
Thank you so much for having me. As you had introduced me, my name is Mkhize and I'm an industrial relations specialist. Umsebenzi wami ukuthi ngivikele ama-companies as well as ama-employees, especially isikhathi samanje when it comes to retrenchments, making sure that ama-companies do follow all the procedures legally, that they abide to all those procedures, as well as the employees' rights. What are their rights when it comes to retrenchment? What are they entitled to? So in a nutshell, that's it.
All right, Ntokazi, sihleli lana-ke ne-Commissioner ye-CCMA, ubaba uSimon Makhubela. Baba Simon, thank you so much for joining us. I guess into engayisho nje kuwena baba ukuthi terrible times for the country and as well as abroad. I mean, South Africa has seen some of the highest unemployment figures in the years, and these are largely due to retrenchments. What circumstances mitigate or propel companies to start issuing those Section 189s?
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me, and good afternoon to your listeners. Yeah, I must admit that this is a difficult time. Now, a number of people are being retrenched, and the procedure is that it's in terms of Section 189, wherein employers are expected to issue notices in terms of 189.3 of the Labour Relations Act, inviting parties to consult with them for purposes of terminating them based on operational requirement. Now, once parties are invited, they need to consult. If they consult in terms of your 189, the process would normally take 30 days, but if it's in terms of Section 189, capital A of the Labour Relations Act, the process takes 60 days, wherein parties must conduct at least 4 meetings, in which meetings they will try to avoid retrenchment or minimize the number, then they mitigate the adverse effect thereof.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Commissioner, I mean, let's go back to our HR as well as labor expert Makhabazela this side. Makhabazela, we've seen a lot of companies, I mean, in relation to UIF, register employees not many companies were actually following proper procedures in terms of if you have workers ubanikeza ama contracts and you follow the proper labor laws. So it sounds like abantu abaningi abalandeli imithetho nemigomo ngaphambi kokuthi badilize abantu emsebenzini. Kumele kahle kwenzakaleni ntokazi uma kuqala kukhishwa le 189 section kunikezwa abasebenzi.
So when an employer decides to embark in a retrenchment process, it's very important that...
Ungasichazela ngesiZulu ntokazi.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, kubalulekile ukuthi ama-employers masizoqala ukudiliza abasebenzi ukuthi ba-consult with ama-employees, ama-trade unions in the company, ama-workplace forums, as well as any collective agreements that are in place before beqale ukuretrencha. Lawo ama-consultations abalulekile ukuze bakwazi ukuxoxisana bakhulumisane ukuthi kahle singenze njani ukugwema ukuthi abasebenzi bangadilizwa emsebenzini. If all fails after our consultations, then we embark in the retrenchment process where we discuss, okay, how can we mitigate, a majority of people, how can we do those processes by also mitigating the risk of those people? So we try and soften the blow of retrenchment when it comes to companies and employees that are going to be affected. So it's also very important to also hand out some notices to the intention to retrench those, to retrench those employees. And in that notice, you must show that you have tried every way possible to not retrench, and also show that the only way to mitigate the risks in terms of profits, in terms of profit losses and profit gains. And then it's also very important also to state who will be affected in the retrenchments, and also what packages will those people receive at the end of the retrenchments. As well as also when the retrenchment dates, the end of the retrenchment dates would be, so when they're expected to be retrenched as well. So that's the whole process when it comes to consulting our employees, and also consulting our workplace forums, the trade unions and our collective agreements when it comes to retrenchments. And it's important that you do state what kind of packages those people abazawathola ekugcineni kwama-abasebenzi.
Okay, and then Makhabazela, in this process lana sesiyezwa ke bayitholile email or bayitholile incwadi ukuthi okay nizodilizwa emsebenzini kuzolandelwa igaba zokuthi nidilizwe emsebenzini. Kusuke ubani ohlala lapha decide ukuthi okay this particular worker mhlambe iyiphi criteria esetshenziswayo ukuthi kwazi ukuthi labantu esesiplanile ukuthi siyabadiliza ibona vele abantu esingasabadingi la ecompanyini, and ukuthi baphume sibanikeza ama packages wabo, it will actually do the company better than kunokuthi sibagcine la.
So before employers decide on who to retrench, they have to appoint a facilitator. When I told a CCMA facilitator that can help with the retrenchment process, or they can also hire someone like myself to come and facilitate or consult in the retrenchments. And that's when you discuss what's okay, so who are we retrenching and why are we retrenching Labo Bantu? There's also a process that you can use, LIFO, which means last in, first out. So if you're the last people to ungena phakathi company, you'd be the first people to get retrenched. It has to be a fair process and very objective. So you cannot use a retrenchment as a way to, let's say, no, it has to be a fair process used to retrench those employees.
Thank you so much for clarifying that. Now, Commissioner, this is what I wanted to bring to you as well. During this facilitation period, Lakho khona facilitator njengobesho Makhabazela, can those employees, because you mentioned Uguti, this is a negotiation process, do you think then employers at this stage can actually reject to being retrenched? Do they have any legal leg to stand on in terms of rejecting Uguti bathi baxoshwe emsebenzini at this particular time?
Yes, abasebenzi, they do have recourse. If employer is retrenching them unprocedural, they can, on agent basis, once the notice is issued, to go to court and say to court, interdict this process because procedures were not followed.
Okay.
Now, if the process of facilitation has been concluded and the 60 days has expired, when employer issues a notice of termination, employees can either embark on a protected strike on serving a 48 hours notice to the employer, or they can go to court and challenge their dismissal with the court.
All right. Mbukela sibambe lapho yezwa kubaba uSimon uCommissioner lapha uthi ama-employers if usenikeziwe a low communication ukuthi senizodilizwa, you still have isikhathi ukuthi ningastrika noma-ke ningaya enkantolo njengoba eqeda ukuchaza. Mbukela sishayele la, we are live in studio 011-714-6918 or 714-6919. consumer@sabc.co.za is our email address. Khona futhi ku-Facebook, I'll be reading those Facebook messages. Mrs. Buemva kwalelike, please don't go anywhere. Welcome back Mbogeli, we are live. Usungabamba iqhaza odabeni lethu namhlanje ke sikhuluma ngama retrenchments ukuthi yiphi emaphi amalungelo akho njengomsebenzi kanye naye umqashi ekumele uwazi njengoba phela sizwile ukuthi a lot of people are losing their jobs, particularly around this time COVID. My guest today, the Commissioner of the CCMA, Ubaba uSimon Makhubela, on the line, nentokazi uMawuthembelihle Mkhize on Skype. There she is, looking beautiful today. She's an HR and labor law expert. So Mbukelo ungasinta when studio numbers they will be on the screen shortly. Babu Makhubela, maybe let me just come back to you because this is something that we've seen this, we've practiced through the various years and places of employment. ECCMA, as we know, of the state only deals with permanent employees, which often sometimes leads to gross labor malpractice in many large as well as small corporations. Shouldn't this legislation now, shouldn't this be the time to maybe relook at this legislation in terms of trying to include the informal working individual and sector, ukuthi nabo bakwazi ukuthi babe ne-access yama-right, because you'll get companies that hire people for 15 years, belobe bashintsha ama-contract wabo from 3 months to 6 months, kanjalo, and then those people, as we know, ukuthi this is illegal, after umuntu esesebenze isikhathi esingaka, they're supposed to convert them into permanent employees, Bab.
Yeah, look, we deal with situations where there's employment relationship. Now, if employees are employed by an employer, that employer is obliged to comply with the labor laws. Now, the informal employees, if they were to be defined as informal employees, who may not be covered by the Labor Relations Act, maybe it needs to be clarified. But where there's employment relationship, we have jurisdiction to be able to address the problems when there are problems.
Okay, all right. When I'm Mkhize, because it's very worrying. A lot of people, particularly even in my industry as well, abantu abaningi, they're referred to as freelancers, non-formal workers, informal workers, and so forth, or part-time workers. Uthola ukuthi labantu ikhampani yababeka in that space, but izologi bashintshela ibabeka because abafuna ukwenza leyo commitment yokuthi once you give them a 3-month contract, why renew? Because it means lo muntu leso skill anas uyasidinga kumele uloku uphinde umthathe umfake umenze abe permanent. So isn't this awucabanga ukuthi mhlambe kumele sibheke lento? Ngiyamuzwa uCommissioner uthi yebo bona bathi badila bangena lapho legally, bangena la kuthiwa kune relationship between employer and employee.
I would say ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi abasebenzi bawazi amalungelo abo. Muqashiwe on a temporary contract. The employer cannot always keep renewing the contract cycle to avoid making you permanent. I think after your contract is still renewed, maybe kabili, you have every right to go to your employer and tell the employer ukuthi Listen, and you keep renewing my contracts. I think it's best you turn it to a permanent contract. And if they do not intend to do that, you have recourse as an employee. If you know you're right to go to a CCMA and you do go and refer disputes, because every time a person is renewing your contracts, it shows back in 17. So therefore, you're entitled to AMA benefits as a permanent employee. So you go to a CCMA and refer that dispute.
Okay, and then I'm going to read a few Facebook messages, Lambugeli, as Velagbantu. Maybe, Commissioner, you can listen now, Ntokazi, if you have the answer. Uti uphiwa kuhle Matete Ngobeso, uti the company I work in, they didn't give us any money on the UIF, but they have suspended us, and they tell us that we must come on Friday. That was last week, Friday, and we went there. And when we got there, they say that they will call us, and during COVID days, it is hard to find a new job. Ntokazi, ucabanga ukuthi kwenzakaleni lana? It's obviously lama company ebengwakhuluma ngawo kwi-intro ukuthi they've actually seen i-COVID-19 pandemic as an opportunity to lay our workers off without following proper processes.
Kubalulekile ukuthi before your employer is suspended, they have to give you a reason why they are suspending you and how long your suspension is for. They cannot just unilaterally, they can't just change your contract here without talking to you. So it's important that they give you the reasons for the suspension. And if those reasons are not given to you and no proper protocols are followed, you do then have the right to go to a CCMA because that is an unfair labor practice.
All right, Commissioner, maybe let's talk to you. In your day-to-day dealings, nabantu abeza lapho bazo complainer, without going into detail, of course, about ama cases or sebenzekona, but what do you seem to find is always the issue of contention abantu mebeza lapho CCMA sebelwa between bona and employer yabo baba?
Yeah, in most cases, people would come to CCMA because they are unfairly dismissed or unfairly suspended by their employers. Now, in that case, we determine whether the dismissal was procedurally and substantively fair, or that suspension was for a good reason, and whether the normal processes and procedures were followed before that particular employee is suspended. But in the case of this COVID-19 and UIF, look, we actually do not have much of a jurisdiction to deal with those cases. Workers must go and check with the Department of Labor if claims were made and if that money was paid out for them to be paid.
And Commissioner, while we're there, I mean, we know, of course, litigation, particularly in this country, is a very costly thing. So, abanye abantu abakwazi ukuthi bathatha amacala wabo or ikhalazo zazo beze nazo lapho kunina CCMA. So, what do you then recommend for those people who cannot afford to have a facilitator or umuntu ozomela against the company asebenza kuyona baba?
In terms of representation?
Yebo baba.
Yeah, look, I won't comment much because we are a neutral body that deals with disputes. We are not for employers or for employees, but we are a neutral body which is ensuring fairness in whatever process that may have been followed.
All right, Baba. Thank you so much for that. Mbugeli, you can also get hold of us on 011-714-6918, 714-6919. And of course, I'm taking your Facebook messages. Konalana, you guys need to unite and make some follow-ups so that you can fight for a rise together with anyone suspended on that case so that you can win the case. I think Leonto put Pioguhle Ibizwa E-class action. So those are some of the avenues in Gaza. Mbugeli, asipinde futhi sithi jikelele ngasayitolo. We're back with more on ama retrenchments. What are your rights? What are your legal rights? Wena njengomsebenzi, what can you do, whether formal or informal? Siyabuya emva kwaleli khefu. Siyamukela udaba lethu namhlanje sikhuluma ngama retrenchments ukuthi amalungelo akho njengomsebenzi, even you as an employer, what are your rights? Ungasishayela ucingo la e-studio ku 011-714-6918 or 714-6919. On the line guest yami uCommissioner we-CCMA ubaba Simon Makhubela, and of course lapha ku Skype sina intokazi enhle uMathembelihle uMamkhize uMakhabazela. She's an HR as well as a labor law expert. We do have our first caller on the line. I understand I spoke to her during the ad break. Intokazi uSisilindi SNT. Intokazi, thank you so much for joining us kwiLungelo Lakho. Singakunceda kanjani namhlanje?
Bengisacela ukubuza sithanda sami indaba yami la ukuthi yena ngisebenzele ikhampani engeke ngayimention.
Yes.
Kodwa ngilibe ngisebenzela for 3 years. And then ngithema kuzoba indaba ye-lockdown ngoMay base bayasitshela ke ukuthi yena kuzoba ne-possibility ye-retrenchment.
Okay.
So basitshela futhi ukuthi kuzoba ne-process le-LIFO. So okungithi last in first out.
Okay.
So ngokuthi ngathi mangithi ngibuka abantu ekhampanini esisebenze nabo ngabona ukuthi hayi baningi abangena emva kwami. And then emva kwalokho kuphema sekutholakala ukuba nalama process alandelwayo. So nge-13 zakaJuly basho ukuthi kuzoba nesikhathi sokugcina sokuthi kusho ukuthi okay, if you not placed somewhere else kusho ukuthi uzobusu kuba isikhathi sokuthi ugcine nge-12 zaka August.
Okay.
So manje into ebengifuna ukuthi mhlawumbe bangangicebisa ngayo ukuthi kunabantu before i-lockdown abangenile ekhampanini. Labo bantu labo ngiyazi ukuthi it's private and confidential, but labo bantu labo abadiliziwe bona.
Okay.
Basesekhona. So mina esengisebenze for 3 years for ikhampani.
Sisilindi.
Ngimunye wabantu abadiliziwe. So ngabe ngaya ne-CCMA.
Okay, Ntokazi Sisilindi, ongichazele i-contract yakho, employment contract yakho ithini naleyo company? Were you permanently employed in
was.
You were permanently
Yes,
employed. Okay, Ntokazi, maybe you can stay on the line just for a little while. Ngifuna ukuzwa ukuthi uMamkhize ufuna ukuthini. La Mamkhize nansi inkinga ka Sisilindi la, she worked for a company for 3 years and uthi babachazele during amalokhuzana facilitation and of course communication ukuthi kuzokhishwa abantu the last in first out type of scenario lo kade uyichazile. Uthi uyamangala because abantu abaningi abaqashwe emva kwakhe basasekhona ekhampanini mara yena she's been there longer mara usetshela ukuthi uyadilizwa emsebenzini.
I think I do understand Suthini Ntokazi. I would definitely say if they have followed the procedures ukuthi basasebenzisa i-process i-last in first out, then they have to abide by that. If they do not, then obviously it is unethical, and you can definitely refer to CCMA where they will check if the company is complying with all the requirements that is expected for retrenchment. And then from then on, they will come and bring in a facilitator, an outside facilitator, to come and see, does the company actually comply? And are they retrenching as per LIFO exercise that is exercised during a retrenchment? And if not, then it would be unethical, and you would be entitled to some compensation from the CCMA if it is found that you were retrenched unfairly.
Okay, Sisilindi uyasizeka lapho Ntokazi, uyamuzwa uMamkhize uthi uyakhona ukuthi uhambe uye CCMA ubachazela udaba lakho Ntokazi. Okay, Ntokazi. All right, siyabonga kakhulu, mine. Good luck with that. And maybe, Commissioner, maybe just to rope you in there, I mean, these are the types of cases that, that have become rampant now, particularly during the COVID-19 period, where, again, I'm going to stress this, is there any legal recourse abantu abangayithatha? Like, how does one even begin to prove ukuthi i-company, as much as they said they're going to use the LIFO process, they're now reneging on that agreement? How do you then, as an employer, even go about proving this to CCMA to make a solid case?
Yeah, look, our employer has got a duty to consult with the employees. And its selection criteria, it's not a step that or a position that needs to be taken by your employer alone. It's a product of a consultation between your employer and the employees. And in that process, employer would have to disclose information like a list of all employees with their date of engagement and their positions that they are occupying, so that if they end up agreeing on a last in, first out, it must be clear to everyone as to who is eligible for a retrenchment. So in this case, the court can come to CCMA and lodge an unfair dismissal on the basis that there are people who are recently employed who are not retrenched, but she is longer with the business and she's the one who was retrenched.
Okay, baba siyabonga kakhulu. All right, Mbukeli nawe if usadinga ukuthi sikusize mayelana naleyo situation yakho yokuthi possibly sebekuserve ngesection 189 okusho ukuthi notice leyo yokuthi kungenzeka ukuthi udilizwe emsebenzini, ungasifonela la studio 0117146918 nazi number on your screen, alternatively 6919 consumer@sabc.co.za is our email address, and of course sikhona la ku Facebook, and I will be reading more of those Facebook messages. Okwamanje Mbukeli siphinde ekhefini siyabuya emva kwaleli khefu ngayindawo. Mbukeli kunzima ngempela, abantu badilizwa emsebenzini, amanye amakhampani abhaca behind the COVID pandemic ukuthi bangalandeli imithetho nemigomo ebekiwe i-Labour Department yethu ukuthi phela badilize abantu emsebenzini. My guest today, HR and Labour Law expert Ntokazi Uthembelihle uMamkhize, as well as the Commissioner ye-CCMA on the line, Ubabu Simon Makhubela. We do have uBoots Phamandla all the way in Pinetown now calling us. Boots Phamandla, sekwamukela nsizohlelweni, singakusiza kanjani namhlanje?
Wabona sawona njani?
Yes, siyaphila baba, kunjani?
Siyaphila. Sisters, besebenzela ikhampani enethenda kwamasipala.
Yebo baba.
Njengoba le khampani inethenda kwamasipala kwakhona ithenda le khampani ayisaqhubeki nayo. Njengoba ingaqhubeki nayo, saba sivele sinezikhala ukuthi asinamali kwa-Provident Fund, sonke singabasebenzi soba i-86 akekho umuntu nemali only ukuthi ufumana ukuba u-2,000 ikha kwa-Provident Fund. Okay, because sayanyamezela kwenzela yona-ke lo 3 years wonke kwayo. Kuthe masekuphela i-contract, maseyihamba yasishiya ikhampani izofika ingenele president, ithe le khampani entsha xa ifika yafika yasichitha sonke thina besikhona because simanyinyoni and we know our rights ukuthi kune-section or i-app ekumele ifollow before bengena ukuthi kumele basidinge sonke automatically, but akhange bayi-aplaye yonke leyo nto leyo.
Okay. So Boots Phamandla, let me understand, Boots Phamandla, before uqhubeka ne, let me understand. So you work for this company which had a municipal tender, but did they consult with you ukuthi banitshela ukuthi you might not necessarily be hired nonke by the new company?
Into eyenzakalayo wafika lo tata ayifika efika esithathisela ukuthi le khampani izimile ukuthi izosithatha sonke.
Okay.
But masekuhamba by 16 of June asiboni umnyakazo, asiboni izakalayo okokosebenzisa kusukela apho sazophuma nge-24 sangakhokhelwa le khampani afika sichitha wenza nencwadi yase-high court ukuthi kumele siphumile, senza nosheriff wakho ukuthi la magaba amadala sesinelisi ukuthi kumele siphumile. Sakume kusukela ngalo mini akukho into sayithetha kwathiwa sifuna nokuboneka kwama-5
Okay, Boots Phamandla, your line is very terrible, but I think I can make out the gist of what you were saying. Siyabonga kakhulu baba. Hopefully we can try ukuthi sikulokhoze. Mamkhize, I don't know if umzulu but uthi usebenzile kwi-company that had a municipal tender. Ithe isihamba le company yabachazela ukuthi, so they didn't issue them with ama-section 189, bathe kubona le company entsha ivumile ukuthi izobaqasha bonke uma isi-take over. When this company came, yebo yabaqasha, but then they went without payments for isikhathi eside to a point where sebelahlekelwe imisebenzi without any communication. So ufuna ukubuza ukuthi lapho yini abangayenza as abasebenzi, because it seems like I mean they were forgotten about.
If ngikuzwa kahle, ubhuti uthi i-company was taken over by another company and then they were left out of the whole employment process. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, but Mamkiza, uti the previous employer had reassured them and assured them ukuthi when the new company takes over izobaqasha bonke. So that didn't happen when the new company took over. Ibadilizile actually. Ibatshela ukuthi sebebadala and all sorts of reasons why they can't work.
Oh, okay. When khona instances anjalo, obviously a company once it's been taken over by a new employer, bangakwazi ukuthi benze retrenchment process if bengasabadinga abasebenzi babathathe over. But if those processes were not followed to dismiss or retrench labo basebenzi, they have recourse to go to a CCMA and file a dispute, because that is an unfair labor practice. Also, it is an unfair dismissal because they were not given any retrenchment notices or any dismissal notices instead of going through a process we hearing of dismissal. So it is a dismissal if they were just left out in the dark or not, because also they've been given the intention ukuthi bazoqhubeka basebenze, and if this was not done, then they should go to a CCMA and refer disputes.
Okay. And then, Babu Simon, how would this case then unfold, the CCMA? I mean, we're hearing Ubaba, they were promised by their previous employer that they would be employed by the new employer who was taking over the company. But now it seems like the new employer was not privy to those discussions, and they dismissed the workers, giving them all sorts of reasons, amongst them ukuthi badala kakhulu ukuthi bangabe basebenza kule sector.
Okay. Yeah, it is permissible in law ukuthi abasebenzi bangatransferwa from one employer to another employer in terms of Section 197. But both employers are joint and severally liable for a period of a year in a case kuba khona retrenchment. Therefore, labasebenzi laba, they can lodge a case with the CCMA citing both employers, the new employer and the old employer, in order to address who is then liable to payment severance pay yabo.
Okay, so they are entitled, Baba, to severance pay.
Yes.
All right, siyabonga kakhulu but Phamandle pha in town Nsizwa, I hope ukuthi nizwile lapho, hlanganisa insizwa zene kade nisebenza nazo nihambe niye lapha eCCMA. Uyasho Commissioner ubaba uSimon Makhubela uthi ningaya lapha ya because bobabili labantu abebeniqashile laba bakudala nalaba ababatshela ukuthi meba take over bazokhona ukuthi banithathe, so they are both liable ukuthi banikhokhele something. So zamani insizwa ukuthi nibone ukuthi niya kanjani eCCMA. Mbukeli, let's take another quick ad break. Siyabuya futhi emva kwaleli Kev. Sisayidingeda zona indaba zamalungelo wakho kulesi sikhathi sama retrenchments ukuthi yini wena ongayenza njengomqashi kanye njengomqashwa. We are live on SABC 1. Mbukelo ngasithinta la studio 0117146918 or 7146919. On the line we do have Insizwa Ubhutmatli from a Free State eBloem. Ubhutmatli, thank you so much for staying on the line. Insizwa singakusiza kanjani namhlanje?
Okay, Mama. I just want to get some clarification here. Of which my employer, I think, it didn't follow a proper processes of COVID-19.
Yeah.
Of which the first week of April, he refused to apply for us for a COVID. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the past 2 weeks we went to labor. And then at labor, then they called him. After they called him, and then they gave us a form for him to apply for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we came back, and then we gave him the form. The following day, he claimed that he's retrenching. And he also said that according to MEPCO, we were supposed to work 23 hours per week.
Yes.
So we worked until like 37 hours a week. So now we don't know what to do because he's saying he's retrenching because of the business is suffering. But on the other hand, when we checked, he gave us those it's a paper where it shows that he applied for us.
Okay.
For COVID-19 relief.
Okay, and Matli, has he, ever since he told you guys that he's retrenching you guys, has he issued you guys any formal notification about the looming retrenchments at this stage?
That thing came after after we came back after labor.
After the
now,
labor?
Yes, after we came back from labor.
Okay, so what is the situation currently now? Are you still there at work? He's still threatening to retrench you because you guys took him to the Labor Department. What's happening now?
What is happening now is he hired someone to for this process either of retrenchment.
Okay.
And yes, for I can say is a consultation. Yes.
Okay, so they hired a facilitator to start telling you guys Uguti he's going to be doing retrenchments, but that hasn't taken place, right? You're still working there, you're still getting paid, but you still have not received your UIF, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, Commissioner, I mean, it sounds like this is a very complicated matter. What would your expert advice be in this case? I mean, the workers are still employed by this employer who's threatening them with retrenchments, but this only took place after the employers themselves took him to the Labor Department, who contacted him and told him to apply for UIF on behalf of those employees. But when they came back and after he was contacted by the Labor Department, he started threatening the employees with retrenchments, Bab.
Yeah, look, from what I'm hearing, these employees are not yet.
Yes, they haven't been retrenched. All right, I think we've lost the commissioner there because we're using the dual line, but maybe let's take it to Mamkiza while we still try and we establish that sound, that audio again with the commissioner. Mamkiza, nansi inkinga la, it's very complicated. Ningabasiza kanjani abantu abanjengoMatli? I'm sure uyizwile indaba yakhe sis. Like we are struggling with audio there, both on Skype and of course online, while we still reestablish that contact with Amageswami today, namely Ubabu Simon Makubele, the Commissioner, SCCMA, and of course EHR and Labour Law expert Ntokazi Uthembelihle Mkhize. Let's go back to our line. I understand the Commissioner is back. Commissioner, apologies. I mean, this technology can be a disappointment at times like this, but let's go on. You were still giving me feedback on this rather complicated case, and I think the last thing you said was it's a bit difficult because these employees are still hired, are still employed by this particular employer, even though he's doing all these unethical things, so to speak. Commissioner?
Employees of the employer.
Yes.
Now, if a notice is served that employer wish to retrench them, and intending to retrench more than 10 if he is employing more than 50 employees. Within 15 days, they themselves may make an application with the CCMA for a facilitation in terms of Section 189, capital A.
Okay.
But for now, and this is my opinion, for now, because they are employed and there is no notice.
Yes, there's still a consultation, yes.
To them, there's very little that we can assist them with.
All right, thank you so much for that input, Commissioner. Maybe Makabazela, when as a labor and HR practitioner, as an expert, yini mhlawumbe abangayenza because uyasho Commissioner ukuthi bona because ilokhuzana ayikakakhishwa that official notice yokuthi baya retrenchwa, it's still in consultation stages njengoba kusho ukuthi labantu bathi they only got that notice or consultation or talk of retrenchments after beyithathile employer yabo bayisa kwilokhuzana Labor Department. So what can they do in the interim? Because bayabona ukuthi things are unfolding unfairly here.
As Simon had said, there's not much because there's no notice that has been given out to our employees as yet. But also, an employer cannot threaten retrenchments, or should I say, there has to be reasons for it. So it cannot be to punish employees through retrenchment. You have to have economical problems. You have to have economical reasons why you want to retrench. So, and the company does have to also have to prove they're going through these financial implications or problems before they embark on your retrenchments. And I always say retrenchment should be the last process. When it comes to retrenchment, should be the last option. So the employer can definitely always look at other alternatives before retrenching employees, but they definitely have to prove the economical reasons as to why retrench abasebenzi.
All right, siyabonga kakhulu lapho Makhabazela. I hope but matle lapho uzwile ukuthi there is not much you can do in terms of taking it to SCCMA at this moment, but kuyanceda uyasho uMakhabazela ukuthi mhlambe ngingathola iadvice ukuthi mayelana nale treatment enitholayo manje njengoba lo baba lo engakazi anichazeli ichazelo zakhe ukuthi why esefuna ukuniretrencha ngoba nimise eLabor Department, so he can't use the fact that nimreportile kwiLabor Department for ukufela ukuthi unirejistele iUIF as a reason ukuthi uyanixosha emsebenzini. Let's go back to ngasekhaya manje sinawo uSamkelo kweThekwini kaBhanana eDurban. But Samkelo sakamkelo ohlelweni. Thank you so much for joining us. Umbuzo noma umbono namhlanje?
Ninjani?
Ngiyaphila nsizwa kunjani?
Siyaphila sis.
Singakunceda kanjani namhlanje?
Yes, sisebenzele enye inkampani enesenda la eDubeni.
Yebo.
So into eyenzeka la bathe mhla ka1 basimisa mhla ka1 May kwathiwa sizobe sibizwe sonke. So kuthe masekuthiwa sesilisiwe sase siyalinda sathola ukuthi ke khona sebabizwayo futhi bayitholile nabeyincwadi kuthiwa kulindwe. So thina sa contract back ukuthi kwenzakalani ngayo. Into esebenza bathi asambe sogcwalisa amaphepha ama-provident fund wawona lawo maphepha ama-provident fund angahambi yabo ngoba sithi sifonela lesi yezo kuthiwa hayi akaze ifike izinto.
Okay, so bese beshila ukuthi banidiliza but Samkelo
abasho ukuthi basidiliza kwakuthiwa vele end of the contract, which means asilinde thina kuyizi-renew i-contract. So ayika-renewa ngokuza noma i-renewa ngo-1 year kodwa sebabiziwe bonke laba abanye kade simiswe nabo sasana mhlawumbe siwu-5 or what thine kade mhlawumbe sibuye sibe nenkinga nemanage.
Okay, all right, ngiyabonga but Samkelo. Maybe Mamkhize, just to wrap up, I mean, we spoke about this. Ilento kade sisho ukuthi kunalama company akunikezwe 1 year contract that is renewable after unyaka. So unenkinga enjalo ubaba uthi manje uhlele ekhaya babe promise ukuthi i-contract izo-renew and it hasn't.
Bhuti, as I said before, e-contracts cannot be renew, because there's intention, obviously, it's happened for so long and it's going to keep happening. They have to be turned to impermanent employees. And if that does not happen, as I said before, they can go to SCCMA as a recourse and refer disputes, because that is an unfair labor practice to keep renew contracts employees, and especially if abaqhubeka emsebenzini wena awubizwa emsebenzini.
Siyabonga kakhulu Makhabazela. That is Usithembelihle Mkhize, an HR and labor law expert. Kanye, we also had Ubabu Simon Makhubela, the commissioner of the CCMA. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your input namhlanje and that valuable knowledge. Mbukele angithemba ukuthi nawe sizamile ukuthi sizame ukukusiza ngaloko okuncane sikuzamile within the time that we had. Remember, we're always open to hearing from you ukuthi yimaphi ama-topic enfuna ukuthi sikhulume ngawo Mbukeli. So you can drop those emails to consumer@sabc.co.za. Alternatively, udrophe lapha on our Facebook page noma usendele ama-SMS. For me, uMajalu Alisha Untlanhlo. Ngithi ke next week we'll have another live consumer affairs discussion with Usimpiwe. From myself and the team namhlanje ngithi ngithanda nonke emakhaya. Stay home, stay safe, keep socially distancing people. Bye-bye.
Yilungelo Lakho.